ladies, black women, we love you. Like Kev reiterated multiple times, you are the crowning jewel of our community. We, in some ways, defer to you and your
Absolutely.
leadership in those regards. And all we're saying is you have the license to date whoever you want, marry whoever you want, but consider spinning the block every now and then. Every now and then, spin the
That's all
Yeah,
block,
we
see
give
what's
it
ask.
three
going on.
times. Give it three chances. Spin it three times. All right.
Three strike.
Hit the
One
corner.
time doesn't go. Go back
Right,
again.
Three
right,
Third,
times.
okay,
All right.
look,
right,
go to a
right. All
different
right.
street, and I
Yeah.
can live with that. I can live with you
Look,
telling me,
check
I
morning, noon,
spent it
and
three
night. Check.
times,
You might have missed
and it
me.
wasn't
Yeah,
hitting.
you might have
Neighborhood.
missed me.
Right,
I
right.
might not have came out till 12. Morning, noon, and
I
night.
wasn't outside. I wasn't outside. But
I wasn't outside
spin the block
three
like Michelle
times.
did.
You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in
You are now tuned in
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in
to the Juxtaposition Podcast.
Welcome to episode 70 of the Juxtaposition Podcast, aka the Extraordinary Nobodies,
Wow.
aka the Five Heartbeats, aka the Starting Five, aka Four Hubbies and the Possible, aka the Positivity Podcast, aka we got everybody back today.
Hello.
Let me get an
Hallelujah.
air horn for that. Let me get an air horn for that. Let's just start right with the chef, man. What's going on, bro? Where you been? How you feeling?
Life is good, no complaints. Taking it one day at a time. But shit, man, been missing y'all. I heard y'all been doing y'all thing, so it's good to kind of be back, catch up with you guys, get some good dialogue, get some good perspectives, and kind of hopefully share some good insights from our view. Yeah, I'm excited to do that.
Facts, man. Happy to have you back. Happy to have you back. We also got everybody else. We got Pulpit Poppy. We got CEO. We got Money Man himself, James. Any
baby?
I'm about to say any words you want to give us?
Stay blessed, good brother. Stay blessed.
It's a lot to cover, man. It's a lot to cover. Like, in lieu of us having the check-ins, I just ask, just give me one word as to how you feeling. If it had to encapsulate your last week, just give me one word as to how you feeling, Cleveland. I'll start with you.
Grateful. Feeling grateful.
Now I want context. Why you grateful? What you grateful for?
Man, just a lot of good things happening in this transition. I think over the weekend, we went shopping for strollers and car seats, and I haven't bought one of those in like 15 years, so you know how that go. Everything is new. Upper
15
baby
years.
versus Nuna. You know what I'm saying? I know James know about that struggle.
But
Bro, we gotta
15
get
years
yo,
sounds
we
like an
gotta get a new car
exaggeration,
seat
but it's
already.
like true already.
She outgrew her the infant car seat.
I ain't got
bro.
time for this.
The
I
infant
ain't got
car
time
seat?
for
Yeah,
this.
bro. Yeah, it happens fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're growing and all that, but like, relax.
What'd you say,
Did
James?
you get
Chloe
the
got her
car seats, the
permit.
one that,
She got her driving
stroller with
permit
car
now?
seat combination. Damn there. She always trying to be on the move, so she needs one.
You can tell
well,
him, bro.
Well, James, you keep the ball. Give me one word of how you feeling. How you feeling this week?
Bless, good brother. Bless.
Blessed. I'll take that. How is the to give us another week by week play by play as to how fatherhood has been the last couple weeks?
Fatherhood is good, man. I can't complain at all, honestly. Like, you got your little struggle moments when, your baby don't want to cooperate, but 99% of the time it's like it really is a joy.
And she has your whole face.
My whole face.
The whole
Beautiful, damn it.
face.
It's a beautiful
She
face.
is.
You trying
One
to
lovely
convince
face.
us?
No,
No, she's beautiful.
no.
It's a beautiful baby for
Everywhere
sure.
we go. Oh my God, it's such a cute baby. She's so beautiful. I know.
You got-
I mean,
You gotta remind people she ain't public property. Like, don't get too close. Like,
Yeah, back up.
hey, people be walking with babies. Like, they be reaching trying to hold.
We
Like,
was in
no.
ShopRite the other day. And
Oh,
somebody
always
came
in the
up
grocery
like, Oh my
store.
God, she's so perfect. We like, all right, thank you.
Right.
They want to touch while
know.
she in the seat. Like,
We
yo,
know.
back up. Don't touch over here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Back up. You gotta
See with
hit
your
'em the
eyes,
Will
not with
Smith
your
real quick,
hands.
Like, back up. Exactly.
Whenever I see like babies of like family, right? The first thing I do is like I peep how the baby moving. Then I like my first interaction is like give my finger. See if they hold my finger, then I'm good money. If they don't, then I'm like, all right, cool. I'll be back. I'll catch you next time. I'll catch you next time. Zoe, give me one word. How you feeling?
Relieved.
That's good. That's great, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Any
temporarily.
context? Or you just like,
Well,
nah,
yeah,
to be continued?
nah, cause like I always am relieved when people finally give my money. So I
Oh,
got I,
facts, facts,
I
facts,
got
facts,
my
facts,
bread that some
facts,
people
facts.
owe me for quite some time. So at least temporarily, I could breathe. You know what I mean?
All right. I love that. And the man of the hour, Chef, give us one word. How you feeling, bro?
Ignited
Oh,
because I feel
fire.
like,
Fire.
yeah, I feel like currently I'm in a place where things just feel aligned, and I want to continue that momentum as best as I can, and I just feel like it's almost like it feels like it's like now or never type of thing. It almost feels like you get drafted, and now it's like this is where, like, you work all this time to get to a place, and then now you finally get to that place, and now it's like, you know the motivation of just being in this new transition, and want to keep that energy and motivation and momentum brewing, and see what kind of heights you can take from here. So I feel ignited. I feel like I'm energized, motivated. I feel like I'm probably the most focused I've been. I probably said that before, but I really feel like this now.
I mean, but
So I'm in a
you
good
allowed to
place.
have that. You allowed to go from like, nah, this is the best I ever felt. No, 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 this is the best I ever felt. Nah, 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 nah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's
This is the
all
best I ever
relative and it
felt.
grows over time, right? Like this is gonna be my
Right,
year, and then next year, yeah.
right.
But I feel that way. I feel that way. So yeah, ignite is gonna
That's
be
lit.
my choice of word.
I like
Good
that.
way. I liked what you did there.
Love that. So we gotta. It's a lot to talk about, man.
What about
A
what
lot to
about what
talk
about
about.
you? Cuz you ain't tell us your word yet.
Okay.
Hey,
Let me think
cuz.
about this. Um, I'm I'm inspired, man. Like I'm in a season. I realize that I'm in a season of I can give the gift of opportunity, which is like all I've ever wanted to be in a position to do. So however I can put people on, connect people, I'm inspired to be able to help other folks out. Um, I don't know about y'all, but I'm sure I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for somebody making a phone call at some point in time, put my name in a space. So I'm just trying to, trying to bless folks, trying to put them in a position to do what they need to do.
That's
So I'm
beautiful, bro. I
inspired.
appreciate that. It's
Thanks,
like
man.
blessed with grace, right? You got a grace that you
Yeah.
want to share, and you want everyone else to experience the grace that you experience, and I can appreciate this just how you
You
put
know
that in
what?
words.
I've come to understand. I've come to understand that if you're not looking to help people, you're like low key a hater, bro. Like some parts of me are just like, how much does it really take to like plug somebody? Like, oh yeah, I know somebody that do that. Or yeah, or given if the person is gifted enough to be in that position, but I feel like we always know somebody that can always. I know Zoe's utilized the chapter, James utilized the chapter that's in their home, right? Chef Cleveland, y'all utilized the bros in y'all lives in different points in times. Sometimes it's just like yo, let me think about so and so, give them a call. That opportunity could like be life changing. But there are some people who just don't do that. Like, nah, I'm not about
Oh
to do
no, I
that.
know. It's, it could
People don't
be
want to risk
people
their
you reach out
blessings,
to, and
and
it's just like nothing. Like yo, and people you think that would be willing
you
to
should
just like
respond.
yeah,
Yeah,
like nothing. I'm like, you know what? That's why I have,
yeah.
That's
I
life.
when we talked about that episode with network and stuff like that, it's hard sometimes when I get it. It's hard, but you got to keep pushing through.
Yeah, like when I started my job, and we're gonna get off of this for a second. When I started my job, a lot of people hit me up on LinkedIn. I didn't have time. I feel bad when I don't have time. So I said, yo, do me a favor, hit me in 3 months. Of the like 6 or 7 people that I told that to, one person hit me back. And now I'm like, let me see if I can make something happen for this person because they circled back. I don't have the time right now, but give me 3 months to like let things settle down and I can get back to you. One person circled back and I'm trying to help them out.
Well, I got my
Um,
list. I got my everybody who said nah list, my haters list. So
which is low key important.
when I
Which is low
flourish
key
Right.
on this,
important.
I'm gonna have the last
Yeah,
dance
you
type
shouldn't forget
documentary.
that. You should never forget that, or you should
That's
forget who
my
they are.
motivation. Yeah.
What MJ say, and I took that personally.
Bingo.
Like, oh yeah, all right, cool. Because you know what they say, on the way, on the same people you see on the way up, the same people you see on the way down. Gotta be mindful. So let's get right into it. So if you heard the intro, the song by LL Cool J, "Who Do You Love?" Uh, great context idea by Cleveland. But I wanted to talk to y'all about this article that I came across like 2 days ago, and I got a crazy response in my Instagram DMs. And to be honest, like we as a team wasn't really going to handle this conversation this week, but it was just like, nah, we kind of have to touch it. So let me give you the proper context. There was a New York Post article that says why black women should consider marrying white men. Now, a few things to keep in perspective. Number one, we are not here to tell black women who to date or what to do. Let me say that thing first and foremost. We are not here to tell y'all any of those things. But historically, the New York Post, for folks who are not in the tri-state area, which is New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, if the New York Post has historically not been for black people, some people would even say that they were racist. Some would go that. Would y'all go that far as to say that the Post has been racist?
Extremely
You know,
biased.
moments.
Extremely, extremely
Okay.
biased for sure.
Okay, now I got some context there too. So, a little bit of history on the Post. The Post was founded by Hamilton in 1801, but we're going to skip to to the more recent times, and it was held by a couple liberal, in quotes, white families, but now it is owned by Rupert Murdoch. Anybody familiar with Rupert Murdoch? And anybody familiar with him?
No, but his name is Rupert, so it tells me everything I need to know.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. But Rupert Murdoch owns News Corp, which owns Fox News. So if you think
Oliver
about the
Trail.
lineage in terms of the New York Post is biased on the other side because Fox News is biased on the other side. So the fact that somebody from the Post wrote this article isn't the story that we want to talk about. The fact that, and the more interesting part is, the author is a black man. His name is Ralph Richard Banks. Now, when you hear a quote or a title that says why black women should consider marrying white men, you're like, dude definitely married a white woman. No, he didn't. And not only did he not, his black wife, is wildly successful. They're both Stanford professors. She's a doctor, Dr. Jennifer Eberhardt, who is a social psychologist and a professor at Stanford, like I mentioned. His practice is focused on racial equity and in the law, in law, and he's a lawyer. So you think about all this context, you're like, this shit doesn't make any sense. Like, you have this powerful black couple that are fighting for equality, but then you also have this real contradictory article, and then we dive into the content, and then we figure out what's actually happening. So I know that you all took a look at the article, but I want to talk about one specific thing at first. One of the major points in the article says that black women should not be pressured to sacrifice their own chances for happiness out of some misplaced loyalty to black men. Nor should black women feel beholden to black men under the guise of advancing the race. How does that make y'all feel?
So I'll start, but I do believe that you should not lower, your standards, if you will, just to marry someone you think you're supposed to marry. That just goes on for anything, whether you think your parents like this person or not, or your friends, or whatever the case is. You obviously should marry who you want to marry because that's who you love, that's who you enjoy being with, and that's it, right? So no, you shouldn't just feel beholden to marrying a black man as a black woman because they're black. That's it. That's the only reason why I'm doing this, and no other reason. No, you should not feel that way.
Yeah, there's more context here because by the numbers, black women are quote unquote more successful and more educated than black men. So some would say
Sure.
if black women are made to be loyal to the race, that they have to kind of go down in order to continue to stay with us. How does that make y'all feel?
Well,
I hate that
I'll
concept.
jump in.
Go ahead.
I agree. Let me just piggyback and say black men are less likely than black women to have completed high school. That's number one. And 50% less likely to have attained a 4-year college degree. Let's start with some stats right there, right?
That's 50 and 50.
And so 50% of women are going to be more advanced. And that doesn't necessarily mean that I think knowing that information automatically puts the platform at a disadvantage if you're looking at equality. Because I know a lot of times black women that are successful are looking to marry into an opportunity that is equal to them. But marriage is not about equality. Marriage is about complementary, right? And there's nothing in marriage about man and woman that's equal. It's we complement each other, right? Let's start. Let's just say.
Puzzle
Let's go from
pieces.
there.
Puzzle pieces.
So, okay, so like let's just say as a black man, I would love to see the idea that black women stay in our community, but I'm not telling them what to do either. But if they have this information knowingly that they're going to be more successful than black men, then they should be prepared to and I don't want to use the word like be patient because I mean that's something that has to be considered, but they should also be prepared to be considerate of the fact that black men are also at an extremely disadvantage socioeconomically compared to any other
Right.
counterparts, right?
Yo, I think
He came out shooting from the
compatibility
3.
definitely, and I think something that you said really resonates, which is compatibility. I think compatibility means way more than education and income. And that compatibility factor, Var, you asked the question of how do we feel when we heard the words like marry down? Like you have to marry down. In order to marry a black man, I have to marry down. To me, that is just an extremely offensive notion because it's not just about where I went to school, what my level of education is, how much money I'm making. I can be compatible with someone who makes way more money than me, who has much more education than I do, but the compatibility is based upon something completely different. So
Right.
to say that you're marrying down because I don't make what you make or I don't have the degrees that you have is extremely offensive to me because it's so marriage is so much more than that because you can have all the degrees, your partner can have all the degrees, and y'all can hate each other. So it has so much more to do with compatibility versus these other measures of success.
Well, let me go ahead, Zoe.
Well, I want to say that just the,
James.
the stat that Kev just said, I just want to say that's why I appreciate y'all because we literally are juxtaposition because all 5 of us graduated, all 5 of us got some type of degree or multiple of, like, you feel me? So that shout out to the podcast in itself because we are the exception to the rule, and it's hard. Like, it's not easy. You know, I do think that I understand. I think a lot of it comes from the socioeconomic aspect, but I mean, black dudes kind of screwed it up first. I'm gonna just go shoot from the hip, like
Yo, y'all are really surprising me because there's a few things that we have to be mindful of, right? So what I'm hearing is that marry for love, right? But there's also a narrative about marriage is a business, and there are people who look at the world we live in as a capitalistic society. So there's like, well, I'm going to get what I don't have, and you want to marry your equal if you came from poverty. So in that regard, are we expecting black women, not that we tell them what to do, are we expecting them to wait for us based on the circumstances that we are in?
No. So, okay. I never believed in the notion that marriage was a business. I know that people are. We've had conversations with Zoe, with our other friends and stuff like that around that topic. I never believed in the notion that marriage was a business. Yes, there are aspects that you can consider that are similar to a business, but in my opinion, if you treat marriage as simply like a business, you're never going to be happy. Like, you're never going to be truly happy. You'll probably have moments, things might be good, but then when things aren't so good, your business is starting to crumble, right? That's where I feel like you really need to have compatibility, to have love, someone that can really share the same aspects of what you think a marriage should be, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, I think this whole notion that you need to wait or be patient to find, no, I don't think that's the case. Like, you can find someone if you're not like, if you don't have your mindset on, I need to marry someone that makes X amount of dollars, right? If that's your notion, then you're not going to potentially find the person that you are or you should be, that you can be compatible with, that you
know what this sounds like? That kind of sounds like what my man was saying on that clip. he was saying that if you are making a certain amount of money, you're pricing yourself out because most of the time, I'm going to be honest. I want somebody who is. I don't need somebody on my level, but I'm lying. Never mind. I was about to play devil's advocate. I can't even believe in that.
So think about the movie. I
Yo,
just thought about this. Think about the movie.
lying.
Daddy's Little Girl. Right. It's a Tyler Perry movie that one of the Tyler Perry movies.
You watch Tyler Perry movies?
Right?
This is crazy.
That,
Throw
yo,
the pot away.
listen. No. Daddy's Little Girl. It's right. You got Idris Elba that plays in it. Right. He is from the hood. He has, multiple daughters by this woman who is with a drug dealer who makes all this money.
The joint with Taraji?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
No, Taraji ain't in that
No,
one.
not Taraji.
Who's in this?
Dwayne's
Tasha.
wife.
Tasha.
Gabrielle
Gabrielle
Union?
Union.
Gabrielle Union.
And then Tasha,
Right.
the Tasha from Camden.
Yeah.
She's
So,
the ratchet one.
she is looking. Gabrielle Union, who's a lawyer, high-powered lawyer, makes a ton of money, is looking for CEO level type individuals and can't find them at all, right? And then she ends up falling for this guy who is a mechanic. His goal is to own his own mechanic shop, to be, a boss by himself, but as a mechanic, right? You're still not making a ton of money. You're not making the money as an executive level lawyer, but they cross paths. She becomes his lawyer. They start, she really started liking him because of who he is, his personality, how he cares for his daughters, his, everything about him. She loves about him, but not his.
But
money.
you're saying that there's a woman there's a movie about a woman who is not blue collar, who fell for a blue collar guy, and he don't make the money that
But
she do.
she was so afraid of what people would think about being with her, and that's where I'm getting at. That's where the problem lies, right? Either as black people or maybe black women, I don't know. We so afraid of what white people are going to think about our spouse that we only can date someone who we think is at our level, or we so afraid about our friends because maybe our friends are within this certain level that we're at, and we're afraid what they're going to think versus how you actually feel within that relationship. So let that go.
It's easier said than done. What I will say is, I don't want us to feel like we're an all-star team and everybody got the ball. Nah, jump in, bros. I want this conversation to be compelling, and I want us to have this dialogue.
I don't.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
Marriage
Steve.
isn't a business. I was going to say marriage isn't a business,
Until
but
you
it
try
is
to
a
break it up.
partnership. And right. But it is a partnership, and I can see why there are similarities between a business and a partnership, and I can see why people get it confused. But even if you were to think of it as a business, the most successful businesses look at areas where they're lacking and then hire people to fill roles based upon what their strengths are. If you're hiring in the right way, I should say, what their strengths are. So it's not all about having the person with the most experience even. It's about having somebody that you feel like can fit this unique role that you need within your company.
Well, hold on.
So
Can I back up for a second, because I think we're getting off track. I wanted to know, are we expecting black women to wait based on our circumstances? What the state of the black man right
that's
now?
where I was getting to, though.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I was getting to.
Yes, because
Wait.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know about yes, bro.
I think I know where Kev's going.
Here's what I'm saying, though. I'm saying that whatever it is that you're lacking, you should be looking for a partner that fits that, and it shouldn't solely be based upon a success level. So if you look at where we say where black men are currently, right, in comparison to black women specifically, nobody's asking anybody to wait or put their life on hold so that we can level up to where they are.
You got to say Cleveland's not asking.
No,
for them
I'm
to
saying
wait.
Cleveland isn't asking for them to wait. But what the example James just gave was somebody who had a goal, was somebody who was working towards something. But that literally exists, bro. Like if I'm a trash man and I'm doing my thing as a trash man.
Are you a trash man? Are you a trash man?
I'm a trash man. I'm a trash man.
I heard it too, yeah.
Bro, if I'm doing my thing and I'm holding it down and I have my own goals, then why does it matter that you make more money than me? Meatballs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't gotta wait, but like accept me for where I am. What I don't want to do what you do. Maybe I don't want to be a high-powered lawyer.
Yeah.
Now talk
You
to
know,
me.
I feel like the equality part.
Kev, I want to hear it because I feel like you are in contrast to
Well, no,
Cleveland's
I had to. Let me circle back. I do apologize, Cleveland. I don't disagree with that. And you putting in that context, it makes sense. Like, meet me where I am. Not necessarily meet me where I am, because we all are independently different people. So you comparing your trajectory, your career journey, and you want to compare that to another person is doesn't make sense, right? And
Exactly.
essentially, if you're going to compare your experiences to someone else's experiences, then that's never really gonna. I mean, I get people can do that. You can marry the same like caliber of professional, I guess, lism. But so my point I was gonna make is this, right? I take that back. I agree with Cleveland's point, but I will also say that the effects of racism.
I
I'm
thought we
gonna
had
go
a hot
there.
take. I thought we had a hot take.
I'm gonna go there. The effects of racism have left well-educated black women divisive from understanding the overall mission in the black
Yes.
community, right? So I
Okay.
say that
Okay.
because if I'm in my hood and I make it to the league, what's my expectation now? To go back to my
You want?
hood and lift everybody up, right? That's what I'm supposed to do.
Marry a
Otherwise,
white woman.
That's what
that
I was thinking.
happens.
You don't.
That
You
happens.
marry somebody that's like has the same status versus you go back to the hood, donate your bread and your time a little bit, but you're not
What I'm
marrying
saying,
nobody from the
I'm
hood.
using the hood as a metaphor for my role in the black community. Okay,
Okay.
if I get out the hood, right? If I'm out the hood, my job is to go back to the hood and uplift my community as a black man. That's my role. That's my job, right? I'm a. That's what LeBron did. That's what all the other guys did. They go back. So if we're telling people, if we're saying out loud that black women are more advanced, they're like our LeBron in our community,
Mm,
essentially. You understand where I'm trying to go with that?
okay.
So like
Okay.
for them to
Come
be
back and
as
get us.
advanced as they are, for them to be able to have this trajectory, this focus, this attention span that we lack given our current culture that doesn't foster the five guys that are here because this is not normal. I'm gonna keep it 100. It's not right
Right.
that
Right.
we're distracted by the money, cars, and the hoes in our community. Right? We got to get these things to be this person, right, or to be
Right.
viewed as this thing, right? But the ones that go the long route, they get shitted on because they don't have these things. So the women that are so focused, that are advanced, that are moving up the corporate ladder, that have the bag, yes, their job is to come back to the hood, bro. That's your job. If you're a
Mm.
black woman, your job is to come back to the hood because you're gonna look at the black man and say he didn't do shit for us. That's what you're gonna say, you
I think
right?
you
So
are
So
I'll
being.
leave
I
it
think
there.
you are saying something different than Cleveland. I think that y'all are
yeah,
saying something different, and I think that Kev, you make an amazing point in terms of if you are the most talented of us, right? Then it's kind of your responsibility to swing back, circle the block, spin the block, and see like
But I got a
what's
question.
going on. Go ahead.
But does that have to correlate with marriage? Like I could spin the block and help you. That don't mean I want to be with you. Like and what your question that you asked was, wait. So in my head, what I heard was, should I get with you and wait for you to develop and build? I think you should wait if you because like you said, money can go. You can lose everything. You could be that CEO and catch a disease, cancer, MS, anything, and all that's over with, right?
Over.
Do you
Right.
have someone that you care and like because you can? I thought my interpretation is you're supposed to build something together, which ain't got nothing to do
Right.
with what I'm getting already. So that's how I look at it. Like, yeah, you should wait because we're building together. Like, are we? Is the house moving ready or?
Go ahead.
and also I think like as a man, right? Are you supposed to date only women that are on that's on your level that make the same amount of money as you, right?
It's nice,
If
but
But
men,
I
it's not
think
yes,
men
yeah, it's
necessary.
get
nice. But
I
if but
think
if
men get
men only
accused of
look,
doing the opposite. Like go like I feel like if we keeping it like dating down and dating up, men are more accused of dating down, right? Like a woman that's
but
not
no,
on
it's
your
not about
level.
dating down. I mean, I guess I'm speaking from me, and I guess the I don't know people I know. Like, how many men do you know are only looking for women that's on their level? That's it.
But
No
here's the
men that I
thing.
know.
No,
But here's the
how many
thing.
men do, like seriously? Because I don't
Cleveland said
know.
no. Cleveland said it, and Kev said it. You gotta keep it real. We are the anomaly.
I'm not.
We're not
It
great
doesn't.
examples. You
No,
said
no,
us or
no.
people we know.
No,
But
no,
yeah,
We
no.
are
but
an
that's what I
anomaly.
mean. But that goes into the statistic.
Okay.
Regardless if we're anomaly or not, like that still goes into it. Like men are not necessarily looking just for someone to make
On
as
their
much money
level.
as them. That's
Right.
on
Nah,
their level.
we
Like
don't.
that's not what it is. And if a
Right.
woman is simply looking for a man that's on their level or above, I feel like they just looking to be taken care of. Like they're not
Exactly.
looking for anything else but to be taken care of.
Yo, let me jump in. Let me jump in real quick.
Why you
Okay.
think
I know
black?
where he's going with that because think about this, right? Men are expected to be a provider, protector, and
That's where I was
other
going.
P
You
word,
can do
any other
all
P
of
word
that and not be the breadwinner.
Other P word.
for
Yep.
sure.
Can
But
you?
you can still provide because let's say you make just enough to pay the expenses. You taking care of the family. If that's your sacrifice to the home, then you taking care of business, bro.
But
She
everybody
makes
not
more
going
than
for
you.
that. Every woman's not going for that.
But every woman
This
ain't
the
just because
thing,
you
right?
got
I mean,
money.
I
Don't
get it.
wait.
The
Time out.
argument-
I
Just
get
because you got
why.
money don't mean you good with it. That's another thing. My provider.
Oh no, not no
Exactly.
for sure.
Exactly. It doesn't.
It's not what they say. It's not mutually exclusive. Just because
Yeah.
one happens doesn't mean the other. But
Yeah,
I
you
know
got $1
that there
million
are
and you
people
blowing it. You gonna mess
who,
it up.
if you're a man, for sure, that's 100% a fact. But go ahead, Kev.
High performing black women want high performing men, right? High performing men just want a partner to accommodate them, to help them keep what they have going. Whether it is a high performing woman or it's not a high performing woman, right? Those to me are the difference. I feel like women are more involved in tune with if I am here, I need somebody here or better. They need something here or better, right? Men, if they're here, they just need something to complement what they have going on. Let's break this down into a leadership dynamic now, because essentially
Okay.
this is the conflict that I feel that becomes an issue in this space essentially. Now, if black women are making more and have advanced degrees, does that make them the leader or does that make them more performing or higher performing?
It depends on the dynamic. I can defend a point if we said that women were the leader if they are more qualified in certain positions. I could say yes to that.
In a marriage, though, I'm gonna throw that out there because I'm gonna say in a marriage, in a
I'll
wedding,
defer.
in a marital status.
I'm not married, so I'll defer to y'all to answer that question.
Nah, I'm saying this that
No, you got to answer Kev's question because I want to make sure he advances his conversation.
Yeah, I
Not,
just want to hear the
listen,
thoughts.
the thing about a relationship is that, or a marriage, is one can be like the man can be a leader, and the woman can then take over as being a leader depending on the situation that happens. Things transition through a marriage, right? Especially if you're married for 20, 30, 40 years, like things aren't gonna always be the same, and any the man or the woman can take over a specific role at a time depending on situations. People go through things, right? So I'm not saying that the man has to be the leader all the time throughout the entire marriage. That's not it.
But
right?
Kev had a simple,
But that's the,
he had a simple question around if the woman has the advanced degrees and the qualifications, can she be a leader in the marriage? That was the question, right?
I think she
but I
can.
just answered that. That's yes,
Yeah.
she can be,
said
and
Okay.
she will be,
Depending on the situation.
But
But
it doesn't
not-
What is a
matter.
leader
yo,
in a
you can't-
marriage?
You
bro?
can't be. You can't be.
It's
Like,
a
someone
woman.
who is,
Time
like,
out.
is
what is
holding
that?
To
Hold on.
me, I'll answer it. To me, it's the person
Yeah.
that's holding everything together all the time, right? And that may not necessarily be
It
the
don't have to be
man at all
financial.
given times. Right?
Can I say this
it's
though?
always- I think it's always the man. Go ahead, Stephen.
If anybody is holding everything together all the time, to me that's a strained marriage, bro.
You by
like
yourself.
holding
But
everything together
sometimes-
all the
but
time.
Sometimes that's what it is, though. You're
No,
not by
I get
yourself.
that. What
You are
I'm
literally uplifting and keeping things together with the person that you're with, because maybe things are just like they're just going through shit at the time. It doesn't
Well,
mean
and
that.
this is kind of where I'm going with and here's where I was going with the conversation, right? If we're basing holding things together all the time based upon like finances, specifically finances, bro, there are many women who are in relationships and marriages with men who hold things together all the time financially, but are extremely unhappy within that marriage. So to me, like, I'll give a great example.
I'm not
I
saying
was-
that because you
I
hold
was
things
catching
together,
a-
you're happy.
No. What I was
I'm not
no,
saying that.
I'm just saying you're not even a leader. Like, I don't even think that makes you a leader. Cause I got an Uber ride from this lady. She drove me to the airport one day. This was back when I was traveling for work, and her husband died. She didn't seem at all distraught about it. This dude owned mad restaurants. He was never home, held the family down, multiple houses, held her down. She driving Uber just because she wants to get out the house. But she was the leader of the household without being the financial provider of the household. She was holding the household down and was the leader. So I'm just trying to detach the concept of how much money you make, how much education you have to being successful or even being a leader within a relationship
I
or a
agree with that.
partnership.
let's think about the perspective of black women and black men in relationships, in a marriage, right? We kind of touched on the concept of y'all mostly feel like women should spin the block, right, and come back to get us.
Yeah,
But
for
what would
sure.
I don't
prevent
agree with that.
what? No.
They don't
But we
have
touched
to,
on
I
it.
I
think
don't
it
agree with
should.
that
Right.
either. In that
But
nature,
okay, so Kev feels like that she should spin the block. Who else feels like she should spin the block?
because
Anybody
the
else?
thing about maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but when I hear spin the block and going back to the hood, like that doesn't necessarily like you can have someone who went to college doesn't live in the hood, but not
No,
as
but the hood is a
successful as you.
metaphor. The hood is
Nah,
metaphor.
Exactly.
That's
Thank
what
you.
I
Thank
wanna
you for
make sure.
clarifying that
That's what I
part.
wanna make
Because
sure.
Hold
That's
on,
why I'm
no.
saying
Thank
that.
you.
Kev gave his example
That's why
early
I'm
though.
saying that. Okay.
Kev
okay,
gave
cool,
his example
cool.
early, and he said,
Cool.
if that's what we're required to do, then why not the other way around? That like he pretty much posed that
Nah,
question.
And if
To
black
me-
I'm
women,
actually saying that because obviously, like we may not get that the hood was a metaphor, right? Or
Yeah,
everyone,
I know.
all the
Appreciate you for
listeners may not.
clarifying that, James and
that's
VAR.
why I brought that
Thank
out
you.
like that.
Yeah. Because you guys know
Just
me
need
well
to
enough
make
to
sure that
understand
that's-
where I was
we knew
using.
what you was talking-
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But when
Yeah.
you said black women are our LeBron, I think that's a great analogy, right? Like
Bro,
you,
if they are
you,
that or saviors, then they need to consider themselves as that. And I don't want to cut you up. I just wanted to like elaborate what I meant because I want to say that, right? If our role is to advance the black community, this is why we're here. We're here to amplify the voice of the modern black man. Why? Because we're all black men. We want to see black people. We want to see black community grow and advance. Why don't women who are advancing themselves have the same perspective? That's just my question for listeners, right? Now, if it's like, well, black men aren't at my level, is because statistically you're not expected to be that, right? So now you have to make a decision. Are you for us or are you for yourself? And if it's for yourself, meaning I want to advance myself, so I'm gonna go find somebody who is doing just as well as me or better than me. That's all. That's a self-inflicted initiative,
well,
in my humble opinion.
something you said, I have to address because I don't want us to sound like hypocrites. Now, there are tons of black men who get on and marry white women, right? This
Because,
conversation
bro,
but look, I want to just
because-
say this conversation is not about that. This conversation.
No, it's
is-
not.
I
It's
wanna-
not. It's not.
Yeah, I want to
appreciate
just
that.
point out the hypocrisy, just so we aren't like, oh, they talking about this. We're specifically
Yeah.
talking about
Bro,
the
you're really
article.
good at this, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Because you get how people will perceive
Yeah.
information.
He already
And
right.
I'll
I'm
say
just
this
reading
We
the
just
too.
talk
room.
about that.
Yeah, VAR reading the room. But I will say
Black
this.
women
We
will
did
say
have,
that.
hold on, Kev. We did have a friend of the show definitely comment about the financial situation and definitely tell us like, yo,
Right.
this motherfucker can't even like, yo, you can't even snore up in this motherfucker because you ain't making no bread. Like, wait, what? Like, hold on.
Okay, I get
how my
that.
sleeping pattern get messed up because of my pocket?
Oh yeah.
What that got to do?
Are you late?
mean-
You can't afford to be late. You
Yeah.
can't. You don't make enough money to
How
be
dare
late.
you?
It's like, yo,
I get the idea that unfortunately not all of us are successful in the minds of what women would want, high performing women are looking for. I mean, I'm not telling them to go back to hood and pick up the worst 10%. I'm just saying if he has the potential and the available resources to elevate himself and you see that, why not go back and create something really powerful? Why not inspire him to be great, right? Why not give him the
Cleveland, I'ma set you
energy
up.
that for sure, go ahead.
I'm about to say, and he has
No.
all the qualities that you want in a man too.
Yeah, he has all the
Cleveland-
qualities. He's smart,
Cleveland-
charming, and athletic.
Cleveland
That's
made
what
a
they
good
want,
point.
right?
Cleveland made a good point, and this is the parallel that I can see this through. My role at work is to find qualified black people to get tech internships, right? Many folks would think that that's very hard to do. No, they're just looking in the wrong places. They're not prioritizing looking for black talent. Cleveland made an example earlier around if you are looking for something, you will find it, right? But it's just like jobs, right? Like you it's not going to be like on the street corner. You got to there requires some work in order to be able to find that thing. Now, the question for you, Cleveland, is do you imagine that for black women it is that tough to find a black man, quote unquote, on their level?
I don't want to speak on behalf of black women, but from the statistics, then the statistics do not accurately depict the level or the caliber of black men that exist that are open to marrying in dating and supporting black women. I don't think it's a proper representation. There's too much that goes into why a black man doesn't graduate high school, why a black man doesn't go to college, to limit it to those two factors as to why black women aren't having successful marriages with black men. It goes so far beyond that, and we can't discredit the role that racism plays in all of this, and slavery plays into all of this. Not even trying to be funny, like all of that plays a part in it. And the one thing I didn't like about the article is, although the numbers are going to support what you're saying, because it's like 50% of black men are 50% less likely to graduate from these institutions. I get what you're saying, and then you're going to relate that to the divorce rate. But at the same time, there are highly successful black people that get divorced just as frequently, if not close to it. So I don't think it's fair to say that the reason why black women aren't having successful relationships with black men is because they're uneven in terms of education and finances. Like, I don't think it's just that. It's so much more to it. And I just don't like the fact that it was reduced down to that, because I think there are good black men who may not meet the qualifications of what successful should be or what successful is.
And as we talked about before, we also know that sometimes, quote unquote, good black men come with this corny stigma, right? So that's a whole nother aspect.
Boy.
That was kind of
right. So that's a whole nother avenue of like, oh, he got to have swag too. He got to be all these extra things. But
that was
here's
Kev's,
another
that was Kev's example with the whole like the drug dealer, the whole like
but that's our influence.
Yeah.
To Cleveland's thing, the statistics are considering those confounders, though, right? Quite frankly, in my opinion, they're considering that as to why we're saying black women are more likely to do more than black men, because these systemic issues exist. Like, that is what the statistics are considering. They're considering, given our environment, given our culture, given what we have, given our history, this is what it is right now, right? And if you think about that like that, to Cleveland's point that he made, then, and if women are considering that, then yeah, it makes that the selection is very narrow, very, very skewed, because now it's like there's not that many educated black men that haven't been
but here's,
in the street life, and that's what they're involved in, type of thing. You feel what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that the statistics are considering those things. I just want to emphasize that the statistics are considering that, like they are considering what history has put on us. That's why it is what it is now, essentially.
Here's another wrinkle that I want to be mindful of, because black women are considered what they call, even though I hate this term, but a double minority, right? Not only are they black, but they're women. And historically, on the totem pole of power and influence, black women fall at the bottom. So, with that said, for black women to fall at the bottom and to supersede those circumstances and rise to, they are the most educated subgroup in America, right? If they are to say that, who are they? Is it not fair for them to demand that of a partner too?
That's what
Demand
my point
what, though?
about the
Education?
systematic. No, let me say.
Success.
But that is my thing, right? Racism has confused us, and more importantly, our black women, bro. Like, black women go into corporate America, bro, and in my opinion, they understand the hierarchy of success, and we're not at the highest level. So they don't see even us there to say, there's no representation there for us for them to even come back to say that we are that. You feel what I'm saying? I'll give you guys a cool example. And I hope it resonates well. It was at the airport, came back from vacation. Now, you guys know me. James know me enough that I don't really like people who are overly authoritative, right? I don't care for that, right?
Yeah, right.
So we got our bags, came out of customs, and my wife wanted to get her global entry renewed, right? So we go to the center, which was taking hella long. Actually, when we pulled up, there was nobody there, right? There was a bag in front of us that we didn't know, that we didn't recognize, right? A white man comes and like pretty much trying to tell us he was already here. He was already in line before us because his bag was here. So I let off with telling you I was at the airport, because you all know you can't leave your bag at the airport unattended. That's number one, right? You're not allowed to do that. So how you tell us
Say something.
I was here already? right? I left my bag here. So I look at him, I tell him, that must be nice, right?
Yeah, that's
I
Kev.
say, that must be nice.
Okay.
And he goes, what? That have my bag? And I just like let it go, right? I say, nah, it's cool. And my wife looks at me like I'm wrong for making that comment, right? Because part of it is like he's a white man. He didn't mean it that way. But you don't understand that there is under hidden
So much
like
more in that comment.
privileges a lot more than that comment. She didn't analyze it the way I analyze it, right? So I'm like, I never told her that. I never made it a big deal. I just let it go. But I'm saying that to say that is where we are programmed. We're programmed that if any of us were to pull up and say, "Yo, I was already here," we would have been like, "Nah." I mean, like
Right.
it'll be. But I said it to say
Right is right.
we have to be aware of how the system is affecting our perspective, and I'll leave it there.
Can I paint this picture? Like this, and this is just a realistic picture of America. Like, just imagine being enslaved, taken from your family, being told that you were less than a man, being thrown into prisons, had drugs flood your community, then being thrown into prison for being on and selling those drugs, to now have an article written by a black man that says, "Oh, more black women should consider white men."
He's
Like, to
right
me,
though,
it's like
in my
you've
opinion.
done. I think he's so wrong for that, because you've done because you don't even fit the bro. You're counting people out that aren't on a education and financial level that you are.
Right.
Like, you're counting them out
Right.
of for black women, basically. Like, to me, that's wrong. And then but like, to go through all of that and then to say, well, now we're better suited for your women because of everything we've done to you.
We've taken
To
these
me, that's
things
crazy.
from you. We've taken, we've here's the home, right? There's a home, right? There's a basement, there's a whole house. Well, it's a fully furnished house. Everything's good with this house. We go ahead and take everything out of your home and then want to let you know that, like, this wasn't for you anyway. This is for
Can I
us.
tell y'all? Can I say something real quick, guys? And
Go
y'all can
ahead.
please cut me off if I'm going too much. I feel like he was doing a double entendre. He was playing just a position because I think he understands. He understands the struggle of social power that we are combating as within our own community. He understands that successful black women. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I am not this person who believes. I believe in equality all the way around, but I also believe there's like an interesting dynamic in how a family should function in order for it to be optimal. I'll get into that conversation later at some other time, different time, right? My point I'm making is that women marry into a man because they want whatever they're looking for. Well, we could have another woman come in here and tell you what they want when they are looking to get married. I'm not an expert in that, but I have an intuition. But my thing is, I'm saying is, they are looking for a man to do certain things, right? Now, the complication of successful women is that they are looking to advance through life, right? They're looking through this trajectory. Here's life.
Socioeconomics, right, right.
No one can disagree with that, right? And no one can disagree with that. So this is why we're saying that in my humble opinion, I feel like he's addressing that women should do that because he understands that women will defer to what they feel like is worthy of deferring to. Okay, they'll defer to what makes sense to them, right? So if you put a John with blue eyes in the picture and he has history and lineage of wealth, and he has access to because he is at the highest position, highest power, it makes sense for her to fall underneath that. And no one talks about the dynamic that happens. You think John is going through the same struggle as Hakeem, who has some degrees and may not really have it all figured out? You think she's the same person? You really believe? You
See,
really
now
believe that she
that's
is the
where
same personality in those two experiences? I don't believe that, and I
that's
think he
where
understands that. You know what I'm saying?
that's where that to my to var, right, my perspective, I want to just interject really quick. The thing that I don't enjoy about this is he will be continuing to discount the experiences of said black woman, and if you are, I don't know if something he didn't consider, if there's a successful black woman with a white man, I feel like this is gonna sound crazy. I feel like a sense of who she is and the root of what she comes from gets lost over time.
One
Because I
hundred
think
percent.
being connected to the struggle and understanding that, to Kev's point, Hakeem may need more support. I am also of the belief that when you're with your woman, when you with your lady takes on your traits. She starts saying your words. She start, doing things that you enjoy, and that's like our little like, all right, yeah, that's what's up. But the same thing will happen with that proximity to white culture, and I think it takes a tremendous amount of resolve to be like to resist the invitation on that side, right? Because it's almost irresistible. Now, how many black people have volunteered to just go that side without even marrying somebody?
Yeah.
So it's tough.
I'll say this,
Go
that
ahead, Zoe.
I'm just thinking on a lower tier level of thought, right? Because y'all niggas took it way to like we didn't had class and everything else, right? Which is great.
Yeah, you're right.
But for some of the other people that like to keep it simple, the KISS method, right? To keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
Yo, I'm just thinking about even just the article and everything else is like, yo, how do that make us feel? Like you said, right? That was the initial question that was started this whole thing. It's like, yo, and I thought on the lower level, just us driving in the car, just us like back in the day. Whenever we
Right.
seen a black girl with a white dude, we like, oh, she waiting for his bread. Or something like that, or like he must got some money, because we don't see
Right.
no other reason why, and
Right.
because they don't get
Right.
Chad Hanks or Chet Hanks, they go get like Einstein or Bill Gates with like shoes
Yeah,
leaning,
somebody super awkward.
yeah, like stuff looking all crazy. He got
New
them.
Balances before they
He got
was
the
lit.
504 joints, the New Balance,
Yeah.
the coach or the Nike joints that all coaches wear,
The
like
Monarchs.
yeah,
Yeah.
Monarchs,
But
yeah.
now
The Air
you make it
Monarchs.
you make a great point, Zoe, and I'm glad you brought that up, because what are some reasons that would prevent a successful black woman from dating a white dude? What are some reasons that why she wouldn't go that direction? James, I'm interested to hear your perspective, because you happen to be the only biracial person on the call, and I wanted to see if that had anything to do with like in terms of like how you think about stuff like this.
Wait, so why a black woman wouldn't date a white man?
So why would why would there be a black woman who was like, I can't, like, I
I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to answer
Yeah,
that
right.
question. One, I am black. That's it.
I'm sorry.
Two,
And Alexander Hamilton was not the
um,
president. My bad.
no, I mean it's hard for me to answer that question because I really don't. I can't get in the mind of a black woman who just don't want to date a white man. I don't. I haven't. I don't know. Like, I mean, I could speculate that culturally it's just two completely different things. They're not compatible. They don't like the same foods. You know what I mean? Their upbringings are different.
That's a good
I
one.
mean,
Use
I don't like
washcloths.
the way it's
like, I mean, seriously, like that could be a deal. Like, listen, like culturally in terms of like food, like that could be a deal breaker for
right.
some people. Like, I like, again, I don't know, but speculating. I mean, those are just some of the reasons. I mean, they just don't
Yeah, I
have
wouldn't know
anything in
the answer.
common.
Well, I'll tell you this. My man, shout out to Chris Rock. Y'all know I'll be quoting him because he got a lot of stand-up specials. He was one of my favorite comedians. But he definitely said the reason why black women get so mad at black men for dating white girls is because they're just not that into white men. He said, he was like, yo,
so they can't even get no get back.
yeah, he said, yo, because they don't, a black man don't need a high echelon white girl. He said they'll go get Roseanne. He said, but a white girl ain't, unless it's George
There's a
Clooney.
reason
Like,
for
you know what
that.
I'm saying? Like, if it's George Clooney, they're not going after uh Kevin James, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or anybody like that. So
No, I was gonna say the reason why I mentioned earlier, because I know we were like talking more about the title and its appropriation. The reason why I felt like it was appropriate for the title is because he was also considering the effects and the struggle for black successful women. You might as well go get a white guy because of how you are moving, is what he's really saying in the article.
save
Go get
yourself
one
the
because
struggle, right?
the issue save yourself the issue. And quickly, I'm just gonna like do this because I got y'all attention. But basically, we're all saying the same thing. We're all saying, does this make sense? Essentially, like, you guys are gonna probably like kill me for this, but okay, this is showing basically that black women have a higher divorce rate than marriage rate, and pretty much so what you're looking at right now is just a quick graph, right, to show you that black women have higher divorce rate than any other counterpart, right? So he's making an argument that
Keep
given
that in
these
mind.
facts, given these statistics, go save yourselves the headache and go get a white guy because you guys will find more success in marriage given what you got going on. If you do this, it's a pure recommendation, right? Because they're losing
By
essentially.
the
You see,
numbers. By the
by the
numbers.
numbers,
So
he's
let's
saying,
for the listeners, let's it says that so these are all women at the bottom, right? Am I if
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
recording
white,
this?
black,
All
Hispanic,
right,
and other. So divorce rate's 31%. So this 30.8 is a divorce rate, right?
for
So this
black
is the
women.
rate for black women. The
Got it.
17.3 is the marriage rate. So for every like 100 or 1,000, or I'll say it's 100 or 1,000, I'm sorry. For every 1,000 unmarried women, there's 17.3 that are married. That's what we're seeing right here. The
God
one point
damn.
the 1.6 is the ratio, right? For every one black woman that gets married, 1.6 get divorced. Okay? Given these numbers, given these statistics, go get a white guy. Save yourself the headache. Is pretty much what he's trying to say. Like, I don't disagree with the
Is
man's
there a
I
statistic
argument.
that
think he's
shows
saying
the
something
divorce rate
different.
or non
I could
or
be
non
wrong, but that's what he's
or
saying.
marriages between
So
black
there was
women
a
and white men?
there was
You
a
know what I mean? Like, what if the divorce rate between black women and white men is just as high? Do we have that statistic?
no, we don't have those
That's
numbers.
that's that's,
But
that's a great question.
do y'all
But
remember
this is
Issa
pretty much
Rae?
based off of
Remember Issa
like
Rae's book?
married black.
You remember Issa Rae's book, and she said it was satirical, just making that clear. She was like, based on the numbers, black women are unmarried at a way higher level, and and not respected. Asian men are also in the same boat, frequently emasculated in terms of how they're portrayed in the media. So satirically, she said, how about black women and Asian men get together and like flourish, right? How about we just love each
It could
other?
be, yeah,
And
yeah. I mean, that's cool. That could work.
it was it wasn't serious, but people took that shit to be so serious and tried to kill her. But in the book it says like it's a satire. So even with the numbers being what they are, now here's something else I wanted to bring up that he mentions in the pictures of the article highlights very successful black women in government who have married white men, and I think there's a false equivalency that he tries to make around. Hey,
Yeah,
you want to be
generalizing,
vice
generalizing.
president?
Yeah,
Want to be vice president?
yeah.
Marry a white man, right? You want to go
No,
to
but
the
that's the
Supreme
facts
Court?
though.
Marry a
You
white
guys
man.
can't argue that. How can you not argue that? We're not there to represent. So if they really want to get to the highest level, they're gonna have to team up with a counterpart that's gonna give them that advantage.
Well,
That is
Obama
what that looks
Obama
like to
debunked
me.
Yo,
that
you got a
already.
president that had a
Hold
black
on, hold
wife.
on,
He
hold
he
on. But
A
you
debunked
gotta
that.
black president had
Obama,
a
look,
black
man,
no,
look,
wife.
no,
look, look, look.
no, 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 bro,
No, no, no.
bro.
Let me say this.
Go
Michelle
ahead.
is
What?
an anomaly, bro, and every black woman should model Michelle. But that's not what's going on. I'll tell you
How
why,
can
Michelle,
right?
black women at that
Michelle
level
mentored
have white husbands?
Michelle mentored Barack, which is the story.
Cultivated and
So
groomed.
Exactly. She was
Barack
higher
wasn't
in some capacity
right
than Barack.
to be his
So she's an
mentor.
anomaly.
Yes,
She's the
right.
anomaly, in my humble opinion. She
She
should be
spun the
What I'm
like
block.
saying
black
is
women
that
should be
like
modeling
why
exactly.
are
And
then
you see
why
what
is that
and you
white
see what
man not an
happened.
anomaly though?
Michelle spun the block, and
Why
she made
is
it
that white
president.
Right,
man
right.
not an anomaly?
She made a
Right?
president
Hold
because
on,
her.
James.
Hold on,
James
James.
got a
Go ahead.
question. Go
Why
ahead,
is
James.
she an anomaly but the white men are not?
Why is
Why she
she an
what?
anomaly?
Why is
Why is
Michelle
she and the
Why?
Obama
white
for
men are not?
staying? Yeah, why is she an anomaly, Michelle Obama, but the white men are not, as James said.
Because we're talking about black women going to get white men. So she's the fact.
But we're
She's
talking
the
about at
she's.
that position. We gave an example that you have
Government.
a black woman
But
in
but she didn't
government,
run for. But she didn't. Time out, James. Hold on. But she didn't
but
run for a high
neither are the
position.
white
She
men.
no. Hold on. Let me just say
Yeah, but
this.
Clarence Thomas got him a
Michelle
white
Obama.
lady.
Let me say this. Let me say this. Michelle Obama did not run for a high position. Her
White men
husband
didn't
was.
either though.
They
But
was
what
already
we're
married.
saying is,
Yeah, I
let
see
me
what
just
Kev's
finish
saying.
my thought, and then you can just criticize it later. I hear what you're saying, and I heard you all the way. So I'm gonna say some things that you may not agree with in between, but let me get to the end point. Okay. Michelle Obama did not run for a high powered position. What we're saying is black women that are running for a high power position have to go get a white man to do that. So Michelle Obama and these black women are not even on the same. I mean, they're the same, but they're not, because she was only able to get to a high position because her husband got to a higher position as a black man. I'm saying she's an anomaly because she stayed at his
She spun the
most
block.
dark times to help him prevail where he needed to go. She actually went back and mentored the cuz. You feel what I'm saying? She actually gave him a job, and she gave him a role, and then figured out how to navigate this culture. And then when he decided to go write a book and not bring no bread home, she said, "Yo, my nigga, you're crazy. But I'll stay. I'll stay, and I'm gonna support you through the situation."
There
And
would be no
then
Barack Obama if it wasn't for Michelle, for sure.
that's 100% of a fact.
Right.
100% fact.
Let me make sure I get this clean so we can have this at the top. There would be no Barack Obama if there was no
Without
Michelle
Michelle.
Obama at all.
Because it was, yeah, exactly, 100. And there wouldn't be no black beautiful babies and advancing the black community under the Barack lineage if it wasn't for
I think we
those
solved
two
the problem.
understanding their
Because
two
Michelle's
dynamics.
because Michelle spun the block, we are all inspired.
That's
Ladies,
what Cleveland said. Build with us. Let us build. Let us build. It's like
if you
grass.
want
We
to
got
Let us
inspire
we got
build.
the
plenty of
We're at a
seeds.
disadvantage. We're at a
spin the
disadvantage. You're
block.
gonna have to recognize we're at a disadvantage and recognize what is in our hearts. Now, I'm not telling you to go spin the block and pick up any old
No pookies.
person to waste your time with. I'm not telling you to do that. You got to do your own screening, and you got to do your own research and say this guy is worth that time and that energy. But clearly, there is a powerful manifestation that happens when you give the right person the right amount of time. And I'm going to
Because
use
what's
those two as a case study.
one thing, Cleveland, I got you. One thing that we cannot disagree with is that the most persuasive, the most powerful reason to do anything in this world is a woman.
Black.
For
Always,
the black
I would even say a
community.
black
For the,
woman.
and no, in general, right?
yeah, 100.
Wars have
Without
been
them, we don't.
waged because of a
Yes,
woman's opinion. So go ahead,
100.
Cleveland.
One thing I do want to clarify something that I said is that I do feel like black women should feel free to love and marry whoever they truly love and marry. I just don't
Yes.
agree that they should base it off of the premise that most black men are not on their quote unquote level. I
Level.
think
That's
anytime you
stupid.
base marriage on anything other than love, you're going to have these issues with divorce. When you base marriage on how successful you can be, if you base marriage on how much you're going to build and how powerful you're going to be, you're going to have a troublesome marriage. It is about love. So I do feel that black women should be free or are free to love whoever it is they want to love and be with whoever it is they want to be with. I just don't agree with his take that it's because there's not enough black men that can love them properly, and that's why there's a high divorce rate. That's
I don't
nonsense,
agree
and I
with
don't
that.
agree with it.
I don't think that's what he's saying, in my opinion. I don't think he's saying there's not enough.
He said it in the
I, just,
article.
I mean, I get
He
it.
said,
I did read that
yeah.
too. I think it's more about, and again, the perspective is here's the issue. Black women, you guys are at a disadvantage. Here's a recommendation, right? And that's what the article is pretty much like
His
alluding
scientific.
to, right?
What
Yeah,
is
He's
it?
yeah. It's
telling
like
them to
saying,
be
hey,
open.
That's his hypothesis.
it's like, hey,
Date
this is
white
the
men.
issue. This is the problem. This is the solution to the problem, right? Go get one, right? And
You got to catch them
and
all.
I think that there is, and James could disagree with me because I feel like, my point is that I think again there is an opportunity for Black women to consider the culture and the disadvantage of the culture and understand their role in perpetuating an advanced society given their superpower. I'm not this guy who believes that masculinity is very, very important. I think if you really break down the compatibility or the complementary, the dynamic of a black woman and a black man, they both offer very important, like,
Well, right.
roles. Like, it's very
Puzzle pieces.
important. Yeah, absolutely. But in a black home, right? And I go back to saying that, I said leadership earlier, but the black man has to feel like he is important. Reason why is because society beats him down. He comes home, his high-powered wife beats him down. So now
Can't snore.
there's a psychological effect
Fuck out.
when he's being talked down to a certain kind of way, being viewed a certain kind of way, and over time that just leads to a toxic relationship that just doesn't end up working out because she can say, well, he wasn't on my level. And I've heard stories, bro, and I listen intently about people who are real successful, and black women who are real successful and who have money always feels like they can replace their significant other because they feel like they are the most
Yo, listen.
important piece
Can I
to
say
this whole puzzle. And
I've
I'll stop
been
right there.
in
Yeah,
situations where person thought that I wasn't on their level and they ain't even had no damn money, and I'm like, whoa. But I guess
yeah,
my thought,
yeah.
my train of thought, I guess whatever. I don't know. I don't know what their rubric scale was, but I guess they felt like I wasn't, on they wherever their dream was, and I was more into where your reality. I'm cool with your dream, but right now you broke. So you need to understand
But
we both broke.
I think that we've really, really like eloquently discussed this point in multiple variants and like variants, not like COVID, but multiple variations. But I'll say this, and I think I can sum it up in a few
Amarian.
words. Amar- um, Ladies, black women, we love you. Like Kev reiterated multiple times, you are the crowning jewel of our community. We in some ways defer to you in your
Absolutely.
leadership in those regards. And all we're saying is you have the license to date whoever you want, marry whoever you want, but consider spending the block every now and then. Every now and then, spin the
That's all
Yeah,
block.
we
See
give
what's
it
ask.
three
going on.
times. Give it three chances. Spin it three times.
Right.
Right?
Three strike.
Hit the
One time
corner.
doesn't go. Go back
Right.
again.
Three
Right.
Third,
strikes.
okay,
Wow.
look.
Right.
Go to a
Right.
different
Right.
street. And I
Yeah.
can live with that. I can live with you
Look,
telling me,
check morning,
I
noon,
spent it
and
three
night. Check.
times
You might have missed
and it
me.
wasn't
Check your
You
hitting.
might have
neighborhood.
missed me.
Right.
I
Right.
might not have came out till 12.
I,
Morning, noon, and
I
night.
wasn't outside. I wasn't outside. But
I wasn't outside
spin the block
three
like Michelle
times.
did. Spin the block like Michelle did. All right, y'all. That was
Yeah,
that was
bro.
great, yo. So you ready?
I'm ready, baby.
Now to get y'all to your favorite segment.
Hey yo, Zoe knows this, Zoe knows that. So light skin, Zoe stay black.
And what do you know? Yes, y'all.
So you gotta
And you
perform that
don't
live,
stop.
man.
Well, yo, look.
That gotta
All
be
right, so
live performance.
I know I gotta master it. I'm gonna do it on stage one day. Just my little half a bar. Um, so since we on the topic of race and women and black women, this went viral to at least today. I saw it today, which is Monday. By the time y'all hear this, it's been a couple of days old. But for whatever reason, Paula Pat was frying some damn chicken, and she was
Bro,
seasoning the chicken while
Greece.
she was
What?
seasoning the grease, shall I say? She
Who?
dipped it in the flour. She put it
Paula Patton.
in the grease. That's Robin Thicke. They broke up, and
Ex-wife.
now we know why. Cause they say he was starving. Cause
But Robin,
he
but
got
Robin
soul.
is
Robin
Robin is
Thicke
the
got
whites
soul.
though. He's the
Yeah, but he
whites
got
though.
soul. He knows soul food. White people love soul food, and they know damn
Oh,
well they
so
ain't
if
no good ass fried chicken.
a black woman marry him, they good money? Never
Nah,
mind.
I
I don't want to
mean,
do it. I don't want to
do
do
he
it. I
get
don't want to
invited to
do
the
it.
barbecue? Is that like that conversation? But
Ain't no
anyway,
barbecue because everybody got invited to the barbecue, stay and do dumb shit. But continue.
I know they don't bring that
Ro-
either.
Robin,
Anyway,
Robin, Robin, Robin Thicke gets invited to the barbecue. He's that kind of white
that's
guy
what I
you bring to the
said. That's
barbecue.
what I said.
Like
Nah,
So
him and
look,
fuck
Skip, you bring to the
I
barbecue.
want all y'all to go look at
skip.
this video. What you say? I want all y'all to look at this video. She dipped it in the flour. She puts the chicken non-seasoned in the oil and then continues to season the chicken while in the oil and then flip it and do it again. But the crazy part, a lot of people ain't peep when she took it out and then she cut it like, look, there you go. To
It
me,
was
in my
red.
opinion, it was a little, and it was, listen, your chicken ain't supposed to be pink unless it's smoked. That shit was medium rare in my opinion. Maybe it could have been the camera.
Yo,
Maybe it could
you know
have.
Wait,
what that
so I
is. You
mean,
know what that
listen,
is.
what made her? So was this like
Temperature
a
too
real
high.
video? Was she really trying to like showcase her cooking skills, or
I
Yeah,
was
think
it like
so. It
I
wasn't no
wasn't a
set. It
joke.
wasn't no
also,
satire.
I mean, seasoning. Okay, so you don't cook chicken that way. Let me start there, right? At
I'm
all.
about to
You
say,
need to season your
James, you know
chicken
damn well you don't
and you
season no
season your
grease.
flour. No, you
Right.
season your
Thank
chicken
you.
and you season your flour, and then
Correct.
you
Man,
fry
first you
the
gotta
chicken.
clean the chicken.
However,
Cut the shit out, man. You gotta clean the shit first.
man, we not
But
going
she
that far
skipped
back.
that part. She skipped that part. She ain't had that
Right.
much footage. Yeah.
If she gonna season it with the, she gonna season the grease, she might not have washed that shit either. You never
She
know
might
what she
not
got
have.
going
You never
on.
seen someone season grease though, essentially, like with like garlic and chili peppers and stuff like that, and then cook something within that grease.
Yeah.
Sort of,
But you gotta
not
clean it
really.
first.
She wasn't using garlic and all that. She was
Let's
doing the.
assume that she cleaned the chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll assume that. We'll assume
Please
that.
clean the chicken.
I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to give it a benefit of the doubt. Maybe she was seasoning the
Lemon,
oil when she
vinegar,
did it
or
before, and it came out good. But you can't season chicken after you cook it. So if she flipped it over and tried to season it then,
Dog.
it's
She
a
was
wrap. Like,
seasoning the grease. Y'all have to watch this. It's the craziest thing. I had watched it about 3 times. 'Cause I was like, yeah, am I tripping? And I kept reading
I
it.
didn't see
And
that
you know, the
video.
comments, they was gunning her in the comments. But
If you see
that
the
was,
comments, they comments didn't give her
Did she
not
grow
an
up wealthy?
ounce. Huh?
huh?
Did she grow up like? Is her dad like somebody? Paula
You know, people
Patton?
just can't cook. Poor people can't cook either, yo.
No. But I'm saying, well,
No,
I
you
know
saying
that,
who her
but
parents is?
you probably got a better
'Cause
chance
you know
of knowing how
Robin
to cook.
Thicke.
I feel like when you poor, because you have to do it.
Yes. I feel like a lot
I
of poor
don't know,
people can't cook.
man. I just think that she just go into the she can't cook category, or don't. I just don't invite me to your crib. Not that I was getting invited anyway, but
Yeah, we got to
but
get
still,
Popeyes or KFC
I
or
don't like that you
something. Like
co-sign that,
chicken.
James.
She
Maybe
probably
chicken's
comment
not her
like, "Good thing
strong suit.
I don't need to know how to cook. I got somebody to
Yeah,
cook for
I
me."
got a chef. Maybe chicken is not. You know,
Fried
maybe she
chicken
can't
is
cook,
not
but
easy to make either. To, to,
no,
to
it's not.
start there,
Yeah,
don't start with
fried
fried chicken
chicken.
on your Instagram.
Nah,
Yes,
nah, nah, nah,
please,
nah, nah.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
fried chicken isn't like it ain't like the first day out.
Yeah, well, anyway, that was crazy. I figured since it was a nice little segue to this, the black woman and she's black, so maybe she did a white guy. Ooh, she married a white guy. Didn't work out too well for her, so
She
there
did
goes with
she
that.
did a white.
She
Man,
did a white.
I think she's
real
one of
quick,
them.
Zoe. Real quick, how many times have we been to, as black people, been to an all white space and felt like we had to earn some level of respect? You don't think that happens for the spouse who's a black woman going into a white family? You don't think she has to like earn some level of respect? I'm just gonna
One
put that
million
out there.
percent. Yes, for
One hundred
sure.
percent, bro.
She
Yeah.
ain't
So
gonna
One
earn it
million
like,
with that
percent.
chicken.
Shut.
she
Nope,
not
she
earning it with the
lost her. Because
chicken.
black
She has to
people love
earn it
fried
with
chicken,
the
Nah,
although
she
they try to
might.
degrees,
bounce
the
it.
She might.
They try to
There's
bounce
no
it on us.
there's no
They like,
seasoning.
yeah, they love
She
fried
might.
Keep
chicken.
going,
They
That's a
try to
good
Joe.
point,
bounce it
Keep
on
going,
James.
Joe.
us,
Good point.
but anyway, yes. Anyway, next we want to shout out Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick making some little moves. I don't know if it's strides, whatever you want to call it, but also Jim Harbaugh, who allowed him to do his thing over at the Michigan spring game. He showcased. I heard there was some NFL scouts that was there. I don't know the severity of it or if they were like the third string scouts, but there was some there showcasing. I am a believer. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that the brother may get a chance. I don't know, but that's just my naive and hope, being that he's our fraternity brother. My realistic view, no, but my hope, I still live with hope for Cap. So
I agree
y'all
with
can look at
that.
the highlights.
If you're living on hope, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's just me. I don't live on
But he
it,
not
but
getting
I
another
still had
chance
that in the
though.
back of my mind. I know. It sounds crazy. Next, I wanted to talk about banking since we got brother Moneybag Yo who was in the banking. I don't know what's going on, man, but these banks is fucking up around here. They wilding on black people. So we had Citibank call the police
What happened?
on
Ain't
Baby
Wells
Storm.
Fargo your ex?
Yeah, I don't even know. I think that was just a bust down. I think he ain't really stay that long. I don't know if they was in a relationship.
Yeah,
or whatever,
he
but
might have been this might have been
yeah,
this buzz down for sure. He might
that
have
was a
just
jump off.
pulled up one time like
I don't talk about those times. Those are dark times. Those are dark times.
Yeah, James like my jump off doesn't run up at the mouth so much. So Citibank called the police on Shorty for depositing a $30,000 check. Now she's Baby Storm is a singer or artist, music artist. And she was depositing, not withdrawing. Now we just had what happened with Ryan Coogler for a withdrawal of $12,000. Now I'm depositing, putting money into the bank, and y'all still call the police on me. It's bugged out. and she's an artist, a musician.
Yeah,
So she got that type of bread. So I don't really know what was
that's
up with
weird.
that. Yeah, super weird.
There's no reason to call the cops on anybody making a deposit.
They putting money in the bank. It's just some,
So
I don't know, very
yeah, that's
strange.
so the thing is like, let's say you think the check is fraudulent, right? You make the deposit. The bank is gonna know the next day whether or not when they try to collect the funds if that check is fraudulent, and then you just don't have access to the funds because more than likely when they scan it through their system, if it is potentially fraudulent, the bank is gonna place a hold on that check, especially if you're not consistently depositing checks that
Of
size.
that lot.
And
Yep,
because of that
exactly.
hold, you don't have access to it anyway. So there's no reason, even if you truly believe, or even if you know the check is fraudulent. I mean, worst case scenario, you can just say, "No, I'm not making a deposit," but that'd be stupid because now you have a fraudulent check out there that can potentially get cashed and someone can lose money. You take the check, you can make the deposit, and the bank is going to stop it anyway. You can flag it yourself. You can place a hold on the check, yourself, even if the bank doesn't do it, and then you can submit something, whatever. Different banks have different things, but at the one I worked at, it's a TRM, and then the bank will look into it anyway. So to call the cops is crazy, and I think
It's
whoever did that
OD.
should be fired.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that was that. And since we're on the topic of James X. Wells Fargo, right? Wells Fargo is now in a lawsuit due to allegations of discriminating against black homeowners. They rejected nearly half of their black homeowners refinancing applications, along with, it says Wells Fargo had been sued for discriminating against black homeowners. Wells Fargo was more likely to approve applications from white applicants earning between $0 and $63,000 annually. That for its black counterparts that was earning 120 to 168,000,
Oh, that's wild.
and that's a
That's
full fledged. So I could earn
crazy. I
mean,
128,000.
So you can make
Somebody
more
could
money.
like,
and you can get a loan or refinance of
yo, that
something.
has to be that. Yo, that. Listen, obviously Wells Fargo is held liable, but that had to be like specific underwriters that were probably racist and were doing that, like on their own accord, and Wells Fargo probably just didn't catch it. They probably just didn't care enough either. But like no bank, like there's like the way you get approved for a mortgage or a credit card, there's specific guidelines that in place that prevent that now because like it's illegal. Like the banks have guidelines in place to prevent that, but you still have workers that approve these loans. Like mortgages, there's underwriters who literally look through these applications and and they're supposed to apply the specific guidelines, but they still literally say approve or denied. People, like literal people. So I
That's
think there
crazy.
probably
They
was
they
like
be lying too.
a
Talk about
set
it's
number of
automated,
underwriters who just was like,
but
nah,
yeah, it
not
had to.
mortgages, like not, and that's credit cards are automated. Credit cards are just is an algorithm that goes through and the system will say approve or denied, and then if you want to challenge it, an actual underwriter will look at it. But mortgages, nah, like there's people those that's way too much money. People are looking at those.
Well, there you go. That also is
That's
why our
wild.
black asses can't get black women because we get denied our properties and this bread that we was trying to
Can't get a
get.
mortgage, right?
So there goes that systemic racism messing us up again. So, and my last zone knows this one is I want to give a shout out to the Rider University MGC Multicultural Greek Council for defending the Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated in a terrible article. Since we talk about New York Post and bad articles, someone at Rider University, I'm not even going to give this person no credit, decided to throw Kappa Alpha Psi in an article that had something to do with hazing of a fraternity, a white fraternity, 15 years ago, our senior year, me and Cleveland, when we were at Rider, where a young individual was killed. Why they decided to parallel us in a article with someone who got killed is beyond me. I'm not even going to read to give them the credit in which they said it, but however, the writer MGC said, on behalf of the Multicultural Greek Council, we would like to show our support and solidarity with Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. It has been brought to our attention that recently the Rider News had published an article with misleading and false claims. In the article, meant to highlight a hazing prevention initiatives Rider has taken since an unfortunate incident 15 years ago. Instead, it disparaged the reputation of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated and other organizations on campus. Information on Kappa was not fact-checked
in its entirety, their contributions to writer ignored with the misleading information. In the future, it is our hope that all information published is accurately released, along with accurately displaying the character of the organizations here at Ryder. Kappa Alpha Psi is a reputable organization who have done amazing things, and hopefully in the future, information will highlight the actual initiatives taken in the Greek community. Once again, the Multicultural Greek Council would like to reaffirm the solidarity with Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out to them. We appreciate the love, and they will be checked.
They do any reprints, anything like apologies
I
or
have-
anything?
I doubt it.
Nah,
but-
we ain't going. That's a little bit too much to expect. But shout out to MGC at Ryder. Thank y'all for getting that right. So with that said, that has been episode 70. The gang is back. Appreciate y'all, man. Can't wait to continue to do this thing, and I will see y'all.
One
We will
more
see y'all
thing, Var. One more
next
thing, Var. I just want to say to black women, well, while they're listening, because I know a lot of y'all listening, a lot of y'all love us, and we love y'all too. But if you believe that black men are special and gifted, and if you understand that when giving a fair opportunity, black men can excel beyond our counterparts, then as black women, consider in being that bridge to advance our black community. Choose wisely, be supportive, and pick your man like you pick your apples to make apple pie. And I'll leave it as that. If you want to know
And
about
with
the
that
apple pie
said,
comment,
I
you reach
wanna-
out to me,
Yeah.
and we will talk about that.
No, don't do it. Don't let it go.
Nah,
let it go.
nah. No,
he
no.
was
And with-
perfect.
I'm
We
not
outta
saying
here.
that. With that
See
said, I
y'all
wanna-
next week.
With that said, I want to ask God to grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, like Kev's comments, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two. That's what I wanted to say.
And we are here to amplify the voice of the modern black man. Yep. We'll see y'all next
So
week.
like, don't forget about me.
All right.